Thanks for joining me for this sun salutation flow. It's a great one to get your energy up, maybe in the morning or the start of the day, but any time of the day really. So we're going to jump straight in. If you'd like to join me at the front of your mat, in a mountain pose or Tadasana, we want to keep this super active. So we're not just standing here like we do waiting for the bus. We're really thinking about pushing our feet into the ground, extending the crown of our head up to the sky, and taking a breath. This time is for you. Maybe you're engaging your quads, pulling your kneecaps up. You can feel the arches of your feet rising up and really activating your legs all the way up, glutes, your core. Just taking a moment to recognize that you've made this time for yourself before we dive right in. So on an inhale, raise your arms up to the sky. Maybe you look up, taking a huge breath in and out. And then on your next exhale, melting yourself down into your forward fold. Maybe you hang there for a bit, moving your legs a little bit. Waking up your body for this practice. Bending one knee and the other, rocking from side to side. Remembering to relax your head as well. And then on an inhale, you rise to a halfway lift, elongating your back, the crown of your head, reaching for the wall in front of you. And then on an exhale, come back down and step into a plank, but this time on your knees, as it's the first one maybe of the day. Hands roughly underneath the shoulders, straight line from the crown of your head to your knees. Taking an inhale, exhale. And then on your next exhale, lowering all the way to the ground. Taking a moment here, position yourself. Before you push into your hands, raising your chest a little bit into a baby cobra. Just a gentle back bend to start off. Then on exhale, lower yourself back down and into a downward facing dog. And here I encourage you to take some movement. Find what's right for you today. Maybe you pedal out your legs. Doesn't matter if your heels touch the ground. Goal here, we want to elongate our spine, relax the head, sending our hips to the sky. And on your next inhale, I encourage you to just take little baby steps all the way to the front of your mat. I like to do this by pushing my heels as far to the ground as they will, just to stretch out those hamstrings. And meet me at the top of the mat in a forward fold position. Before we take a halfway lift on an inhale. And on your next exhale, forward fold. Giving yourself the time to hang here. Maybe it feels a little bit different the first time you were here today. Maybe you feel like you can push your hips to the sky a little bit more, straightening your knees a bit more. Maybe it's still too early in the practice for that. Then an inhale, root to rise, hands all the way above your head, looking up. And then to back to a Tadasana. And you might want to shake it out a bit. Just give your body what it needs. Maybe if you're harboring tension that you didn't realize, you found it. And take a sip of water. And when you're ready, meet me back in your Tadasana, your mountain pose at the front of your mat. And we'll go again. Maybe adding a little bit more, building this practice up. Again, that active Tadasana on here, on an inhale. Hands up to the sky, looking up. Maybe you add a little bit of a back bend here, so extending from the chest, shining it back, so you're not collapsing into your lower back. And on an exhale, dive forward. into your forward fold, shining your hips up to the sky, relaxing your upper body down. And then on an inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale into your plank. And take note of which foot you step back with first. I encourage you here to take a high plank, knees off the ground, but of course, this version with your knees on the ground suits you better, you go for it. And then take your chaturanga, any version. Maybe you hover off the ground, maybe you lower all the way to the ground. Before taking your cobra, maybe a little bit bigger one this time, you find you have more space. Pushing into your hands, and on exhale, lower back down to the ground. Tuck your toes under and find your downward facing dog. Again, you might want to take some movement, or perhaps you want to find stillness this time and focus on different parts of your body working to keep you in this position. And on your next inhale, take a big step to the front of your mat and join me in a forward fold. Taking any movement you feel is right for you. Inhale into a halfway lift. And exhale down to your forward fold again. For when you're ready, inhaling all the way up. Maybe you take a back bend. And on your next exhale, come back to your Tadasana or mountain pose. We're going to take this again, build it up maybe even a little bit more, but take the variations that suit you. Everything that we've done already is a perfectly good option. Okay, full body stretch. On an inhale, and dive forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. And on an exhale, step back to your plank and maybe use that other leg to step back to last time. Lower on an exhale. Inhale into your back bend of choice. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. And this time you might want to jump forward into forward fold to the top of your mat. And join me here. Taking an inhale to a forward fold. Halfway lift. Back down onto a forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Maybe you add a back bend. Then you exhale to Tadasana. We're going to pick up the pace for this next bit, so it's a great time to take a drink of water, shake it out and get ready. We're going to do 2 more of these. Any version that you wish. It might not be what you think it is today, but whatever your body needs. And we're going to go with 1 breath, 1 movement. So we're really going to pick up the pace here. On an inhale, arms up to the sky, back bend. Exhale, dive forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back to plank. Inhale, lower to the ground. Inhale, back bend. And exhale into your forward fold, in your downward facing dog. Jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale down to the ground. Inhale, root to rise. Move straight into the next one. So, from our Tadasana, inhale, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back to plank. Lower to the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then make your way to forward fold. On an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Gaze up to the sky. Into your back. And exhale to Tadasana. We're going to go straight into the next one. Inhale, up to the sky, back bend. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to plank and lower to the ground. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. I'm going to stay here for a little bit, taking a little bit of time. You might be quite out of breath here. You might be feeling great. I'm going to go do another one. That's you go for it. Do as many of these as you feel like you need or you have the time for today. You might even want to lower your knees. Take a child's pose. Just have a little bit of a rest. It was hard work. When you're ready, I encourage you to come maybe through tabletop into your downward facing dog, making your way to the front of the mat. Just noticing how you feel in this forward fold compared to how you did maybe at the beginning of the practice. How's your body feeling? Now on an inhale, slowly roll your spine up, stacking one vertebrae on top of the next. The last thing to come up is your neck. I might take a neck roll here. We've worked hard, though it's been quite a short practice. And on an inhale, invite you to look up to the sky, raising your hands, bringing all that energy with you that you've created, and drawing your hands to your heart, grateful that you were able to take this time today and for what your body can do. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.